Good morning, hello, and welcome to This Date in History, also known as TDH. We are a little early, but hey, what's 2 minutes between friends? Anyway, the show is all about the events that occurred to date in years past, both recognized by other historians, but mainly things we personally find intriguing enough for us to bring to you. The sources of this information come from the Smart Device application, Today in History, What Happened Today in History, Historical Calendar, and the website onthisday.com. For links to those sources, the music done by Carrera, and anything else potentially interesting, check the underbar of the description below. Anyway, I am Aoxander, and I am joined by...
The Slayer.
And Protoblob.
The blobbiest of the blobs. All other... could the real Proto-Blob please stand up? I don't know what I'm doing.
I think that was shady.
Yes, it was. Anyway, today is Woden's Day, right? Wednesday?
Yes.
Yeah, I've completely been thrown through a loop. Yeah, Woden's Day, a.k.a. Odin's Day, a.k.a. Wednesday, with Denden's Day, December 14th, 2022. So, let's have Bomb Trady here start for us today, if he doesn't mind, in 557.
In 557, Constantinople, the capital of the Byzantine Empire, is significantly damaged by a 6.4 magnitude earthquake.
Dang.
I learned about that. That was it really rocked that city. It did some damage. Like it really messed that city up. Because they didn't anticipate it. They had no clue they didn't know they could get earthquakes.
Well, they do now.
I don't even know if it was well, yeah, they do now. I don't think they never anticipated something like that because nobody knows when that's going to happen.
Well, back in those times, natural disasters were viewed as acts of God, so they didn't have any concept of geological activity, tectonic movement, fault lines and all that stuff. They just thought that earthquakes happened to cities that needed like a pimp slap by the hand of God, and Constantinople would have probably really put their heads on the swivel because it's like, hey, it's the capital of the Holy Roman Empire. Like, what closer to God can you get? And it's just like, now we're getting smacked. What do we do? So.
Also, fun fact, that when Jesus was born, Bethlehem was part of the Roman Empire.
Yes, it was. Anyway, there's another one here. It's unhighlighted, 835.
Alrighty, in 835, Chinese Emperor Wenzong conspires with Chancellor Li Zun and General Zhen Zhu to kill all eunuchs, but the plot has failed, also known as the Sweet Dew Incident.
By the way, I'm not sure if you know what a eunuch is, but that is somebody who's been gelded. So.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. The thing is, from what I read, that they essentially controlled the Chinese government, and what happened there was essentially a coup d'etat.
Ah.
Oh, for anybody who doesn't know what gelding is, it's not pleasant. I will say that. It is not pleasant. I'm not going to say what it actually is, but it is very painful for a guy.
Let us say we hope you don't speak from your own experience.
I'm not saying that from personal experience. I just know, because being kicked in that region is already bad enough. That's even worse. Yeah. I can imagine that much worse.
It effectively takes you out of the gene pool. Let's say that.
Yeah, it does. It really does.
Yeah.
Viewers are invited to look it up.
Yep.
From what anybody would know, it is very painful.
Yeah. Anyway, let's move on up to 1287 here, another unhighlighted one.
During St. Lucia's flood in northwest Netherlands, the Zuiderzee seawall collapses with the loss of over 50,000 lives. Fifth largest recorded flood in history.
Holy crap, dude.
Whew.
Yeah. Well, the Netherlands, they, what is it, like 70% of the current land actually is reclaimed, and it's because they have like all these levees and all these pumping systems and everything, and effectively the country is a giant sponge, but it's not really marshlands, really. It's more like stuff that used to be under the water. So
Yeah.
yeah. Anyway, Blob, it's your turn. 1542.
All right. We have in 1542, Princess Mary Stuart succeeds her father James V and becomes Queen Mary I of Scotland at 6 days old.
Wow.
I think that was the one who was also known as Bloody Mary.
I believe so.
That is not at all.
Queen of Scots. No, Mary, Queen of Scots. Bloody Mary was, I think she was British. Let's see here.
Bloody Mary, I believe. Yeah, I believe Bloody Mary.
Bloody Mary Queen. Mary the First. Actually, you're right. My bad. You were correct. This is Queen Mary the First. Yeah. You know what?
Yeah, that was her, but much younger. That was in her younger day.
Oh yeah, well 6 days old. Yeah. Well, like, did I guess it was Mary the Second? I don't know. Huh. That I was thinking of. Anyway,
Yeah.
let's move on up here.
Yes, I tried to find a quote, but I can't find it, so let's continue. In 1582, in Zeeland, Brabant, Netherlands, adopt the Gregorian calendar. Tomorrow is... Wait. Zeeland, Brabant, Netherlands adopt the Gregorian calendar. Tomorrow is 12/25.
So tomorrow is Christmas.
Yeah.
Huh.
I don't get it.
Well, when they switched to calendars.
Yeah, but that must have been then the 14th of the December in the Caesarian calendar, not in the Gregorian calendar.
Huh. Well, then what calendar are we using today? I thought it was a Gregorian.
Yes.
Yeah, we're using the Gregorian. It's just when they switched, they switched it on a really weird day. So what would have been the 25th on their calendar, or what would have been Christmas on their calendar, is the 14th. Was the 14th for us?
Okay. So they mean to say old style tomorrow would have been the 25th.
I believe so. Yes.
Okay, that'd make a lot more sense.
It's weird. The old calendars, like comparing it to the Gregorian, it's strange. It's weird to look at.
Yeah.
Weirdly worded.
Yes, indeed. I see Sohan has joined in. Welcome, Sohan.
So from what I see, it was the Pope actually who had Pope Gregory XIII who had the Julian calendar replaced with the Gregorian.
Yep. Food. Anyway, let's move on up to this 1600 that you found.
Yeah, I just wanted to quickly say that it was introduced in October, and then already 2 months later, those both countries have adopted it.
Okay, you're still talking about the Gregorian calendar?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. In 1600, Olivier Fanort sinks the Spanish galleon San Diego at Bay of Manila. 350 die.
Oh no, not the San Diego.
No,
yeah.
it's the San Diego,
Yeah.
not the San.
San Diego, which is Spanish for whale's penis. Wait, no, it was whale's vagina. Ron Burgundy quote. I don't know.
We're getting Ron Burgundy.
Yeah.
The anchor man with a mustache.
Yep.
Olivier Van Noort, by the way, was a Dutch merchant captain and pirate. And the first Dutchman to circumnavigate the world.
Cool.
So, the more you know.
Yeah. And we're going to move on up to 1656. Artificial pearls were first manufactured by M. Jacquin in Paris, made of Egyptian pellets covered with fish scales. That's interesting. Yeah. And then 1702 here. The 47 Ronin, the leaderless samurai, under the command of Oishi Kuranosuke, avenged the death of their master in Japan. Like that's a pretty big, historical event right there. I don't know why that's not highlighted. But anyway, we're going to come on up into 1774, something that very much should be highlighted, as we were talking about before the show. The first incident of the American Revolution, 400 New Hampshire militiamen successfully attacked Fort William and Mary.
American Revolution? What is that? Never heard of it.
I don't know. It's this little military conflict that, just shaped the entire world in a whole new way, but it's nothing big. So... Anyway, Sohan, are you there? I see that you're muted. Maybe he's not there. Maybe he's eating pizza.
He's only wanting to watch the show, but not joining.
Okay. All right. Well, let's move back up to Bomb Trady here. It's 1793, if you don't mind. That's interesting.
In 1793, the first state road is authorized. Frankfort, Kentucky to Cincinnati.
That is awesome.
And as the Hooters once sang, you can't get to Frankfurt you can't get to heaven on the Frankfurt L, because the Frankfurt L goes straight to Frankfurt.
Ah. Alright. I'm
gonna drive directly on. I'm gonna drive directly to Frankfurt. From there.
Huh. Anyway, what else happened? We have 1812. That's interesting.
12. The French invasion of Russia, led by Napoleon Bonaparte, officially ends with the French having lost as many as 530,000 people.
Oh my god.
Holy oh my.
Yeah.
That's a lot of people.
That is a lot of people.
That is a lot of people.
And that is the closest, that's the closest anybody's ever been to conquering Russia. Like, other than Genghis Khan himself, but I mean, that he's not even on the scoreboard. He's a force of nature. He's like above the board, So.
And then there's the damn Mongolians. They just run over everything.
Yeah.
The only thing they run over was Japan. That was it. And that was because of bad time. That was because of really piss poor timing.
Yeah. I see another one here in 1819.
In 1819 is Alabama. Alabama admitted to Union as the 22nd state.
Ba-da-dum-dum-dum-dum-dum-dum.
Yeah, they were just wanting to be good brothers and sisters.
Oh God.
They wanted to be good cousins. In 1949, the first chamber music group in the U.S. gives their first concert in Boston. Welcome to Boston, pal. We're doing our first concert. Let's go. Chamber music group. Come on here, check it out.
Yeah, don't be a square.
Yeah, don't be a fucking loser.
Yeah.
Yeah, before the physicists said it, the musicians already had string theory.
Ha!
Don't be late, pal. Come on.
God. Anyway, it's Blob's turn, 1864.
Yes, we have the War of the Triple Alliance. Paraguay invades the Brazilian province of Mato Grosso.
Huh. Alright.
I assume under President Francisco Solano Lopez, who is shown as President of Paraguay.
Him and his very thick beard. Like, it looks like he's wearing a danger weasel on his chin.
I see here, it was one of the deadliest conflicts in Latin American history, lasted until 1870 and cost around 850,000 people probably.
Great heavens, that's a lot of people. That's even more than Napoleon.
That's a lot of damage.
That's a lot of damage. But to show the power of flex tape, we sawed South America in half and repaired it using only flex tape and flex seal.
And the conflict ended on the 1st of March 1870 when Mr. Lopez has died.
Dang. Wow, so it sounds like he was the pusher of the war.
Yeah, and his death on the battlefield ended the war.
Wow, can you imagine fighting for, like, how long was that war? The War of the Triple Alliance, when did it start?
6 years.
Okay, so it was 6 years long. So fighting for 6 years, then suddenly your leader dies, and okay, that's it, go home. Like, what? Like, that's it.
Well, he lost in the conventional war first, and then it became a guerrilla war.
Yeah. Well, anyway, let's move on up to 1882 here.
Yeah, we have the journalist and explorer Henry Morton Stanley returning to Brussels from the Congo.
Alright. Cool. Then we got a treaty of interest here, 1897. Emilio...
Oh.
I'm sorry?
Oh, it was the guy who was looking for David Livingstone, and then he reportedly asked Dr. Livingstone, I presume.
That's right. That's right.
And he's also the guy who searched the source of the Nile.
Ah, okay.
Oh, so it's actually a very famous explorer.
He is.
Just forgot for a moment who he was.
Yeah. Oh, well, like I'm naturally forgetful, and I partake in the devil's lettuce, so I utilize other people to do the memory for me.
Yes.
But then we got a treaty of interest here in 1897. Emilio Aguinaldo signed the Pact of Biak-na-Bato to end hostilities and dissolve his government in exchange for amnesty and 800,000 Mexican dollars as an indemnity. So, he's a revolutionary and first president of the Philippines. Huh. Alright. So the Philippines were having a war with Mexico, it sounds like. That's interesting. But then in 1900 here, we have the birth of quantum physics. German physicist Max Planck presented a theoretical derivation of his black body radiation law.
I mean, that's totally not important. It should not be highlighted, obviously. Quantum physics, never heard of again.
Huh. Yeah.
Just some theory.
Huh. But then we also have 1901. Actually, I'm going to take 1900 here. France and Italy signed a secret agreement by which Italy recognized France's right to exploit Morocco in return for France's conceding her the same right in Tripoli. So, that's uncool. Basically, two larger countries telling each other, oh, hey, yeah, you can go screw over the smaller nation. That's cool. I don't like that. I hate it when governments do that. But then in 1901... No. Sorry, what?
Yeah, nowadays Tripoli is the capital of Libya.
Ah. Yeah, that is. That's right. But then in 1901, the first table tennis tournament was held at the London Royal Aquarium. You know what? I would not think it'd be a wise decision to have a sport involving rapidly moving objects like table tennis anywhere near tanks of water. You know?
I don't know what you mean. Mr. Shark defeated Mr. Koi with 6-3, 6-3, and 1 bite.
And 1 bite. Oh my god. But then we got one here in 1903. Mr. Bratos. The Bratos. Oh my god, Kratos, Tom Brady. Jesus Christ.
Big name change.
In 1903, the Wright brothers attempt to fly the Wright Flyer for the first time in Kitty Hawk, North Carolina. On Wednesday, we do arms.
God.
That doesn't sound like... what are they trying? They try to fly?
Yeah, they're trying to fly their experimental fixed-wing aircraft.
Yeah, everyone knows that humans will never be able to fly.
Okay.
Yeah,
I mean...
Has a fucking airplane. Go across the...
Anyway, 1911?
In 1911, Norwegian Roald Amundsen, Antarctic South Pole.
Can you read that again? You kind of cut out halfway through.
Alright, yeah, hang on, I gotta... In 1911, Norwegian Roald Amundsen's Antarctic expedition is the first to reach the South Pole.
Alright, I heard you loud and clear that time.
I had to put my face up to the mic.
I could tell.
There's actually a very sad story behind this, because the theory goes, I read, that Captain Scott later intentionally killed off his expedition and to become famous. Like, he wouldn't have been famous if he made it back, and so he decided to die, and that's a theory I read. I don't know if it's true, but
I don't know. You'd have to be some special kind of crazy to want to be famous so much that you'll remove yourself from the very world you're trying to be known by. Like, how are you sure that you're gonna stick around to see? Like, it's a spirit, or going to another plane of reality. Like, whatever happens after death, I don't know. But that just seems on a whole new level of madness, to allow yourself to die just for the notoriety that you're not even going to be around to witness. It seems like a waste. But that's just me. There are legitimately crazy things out there. So.
Yeah, I think probably he thought if he returns, then he will always be known as the loser. But if he dies as a hero.
I guess so. Well.
But as I said, I read that in a book. I don't know if it's actually true or...
Well, it's an interesting theory, and unless there's documented evidence of witnesses, testifying that he said that to them, then we'll never know for sure.
Well, there were a few witnesses, but they also died with him, so...
Well, that doesn't help the situation at all.
Let's continue.
Yes. It's still your turn.
Mr. Bratos?
Bratos, you there?
Yes.
1914?
In 1914, U.S. President Woodrow Wilson signs Harrison Narcotics Tax Act to regulate and tax production, importation, and distribution. Wow, I can't English right now. Distribution of opiates and coca products.
I didn't know the President of the United States was in the show.
I had no idea. I had no idea I was in. I didn't know I was the president. I had no idea.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm gonna lead an effective strategy to get out.
I just see there's something I have missed, so I will take that also. In 1917, the Universal Film AG, that means Aktiengesellschaft, essentially a publicly traded on the stock exchange organization. It forms in Germany.
Ah, cool.
For many decades, they were the ones who produced all the movies and stuff.
So they were essentially Hollywood before Hollywood.
No, they were making for cinemas, for example. They made the weekly news shows and such, and
oh, okay. So
not only movies, but essentially all the stuff that had to be filmed.
yeah, so like all like the stuff they had before the movies back in the day, like how we have advertisements for other movies now. Back in the day, they had like news and serials and such back in the 40s and whatnot. I remember that.
Yes.
Anyway,
Okay.
Blob, it's your turn. 1918.
Yes, in 1918, Giacomo Puccini's opera Il Trittico premieres in New York City.
All right. And then you have something in 1919 that is not even on this list here.
Oh yeah, it's on the birth list, but it doesn't really belong on the birth list. In 1919, Felix the cat, the anthropomorphic cartoon character, was created in the silent film era by Pat Sullivan and Otto Messmer.
Yeah, that's weird. It's in the birth section, but it's not a birth. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. So then let's get back onto our page here, 1920.
All right, in 1920 we have a boxing title fight. Jack Dempsey KOs Bill Brennan in 12 for the heavyweight boxing title in New York City. That's probably 12 rounds.
Yeah. 12 rounds. Yeah, that's a long fight there. So, but then
makes me think of Tank and Misty.
I'm sorry?
I said it reminds me of Tank Dempsey and Misty Dempsey from Black Ops.
Yeah.
I never played that.
Known as the Manasseh Mauler, Jack Dempsey held the World Heavyweight Championship from 1919 to 1926.
And then in 1933 here, Josephine Baker performed in Amsterdam. She was a dancer, singer, a spy, and civil rights activist. So, okay. Cool.
Yeah, she was pretty famous.
And then 1934, the first streamlined steam locomotive was introduced in Albany, New York. Interesting. Let me see if I can find a picture of that, actually. 1934, first streamlined locomotive. Oh, wow. That's very futuristic. Holy. You guys see what I see?
Yes.
Yeah, I wonder if that's the same one. Although the same picture is popping up all over the place, so... Anyway. But then, let's see here. 1938, Major League Baseball agrees on use of a standard ball. Disagrees in increasing rosters from 23 to 25 players, although Commissioner Kennesaw Mountain Landis eventually decided on 25. So...
And that's not actually how baseball is played today, because each year the balls are slightly different due to manufacturing and stuff. So that's what I heard, at least. Yeah,
but that's interesting. So it took them this long. Actually, I don't even know when Major League Baseball formed, but they started a standardized rule in 1938, so that's good for the ball at least. But then in 1939, the Soviet Union attacks Finland. League of Nations attacks Finland. League of Nations then dropped the Soviet Union. So, yeah, I mean that's an appropriate response.
Part of World War II.
Yeah, actually, yeah, that's right. The Winter War. That's right. So. Yeah, anyway, looks like Bratos is AFK. So I guess we'll go to you, Blobby, here in 1941.
Alright, I'm gonna blob on with the British Prime Minister Winston Churchill, who travels to the United States on board the HMS Duke of York. And probably had a lot of cigars on that, because he was known as a heavy smoker.
Yes. He was a cigar guy, and so was Castro, Fidel Castro.
Yeah, there's also a story about how Winston Churchill and Alexander Fleming are interconnected, but it's a hoax, so we won't repeat that here.
Alexander Fleming, why is that name familiar?
The inventor of penicillin.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the story essentially was that their parents saved each other or something like that, but it was later found to be a hoax. Like, it didn't happen.
Okay.
Alright. And in... I missed another one, I see. In 1944, the US Congress establishes the rank of General of the Army, 5-star general.
Yeah, they gave that to Dwight D. Eisenhower, the Supreme Commander of all Allied forces in Europe.
And later they gave it the other title, General of the Armies, which was given only twice, once to John J. Pershing and once to George Washington retroactively.
Oh, dang.
So in 1945, Elmer Rice's play Dream Girl premieres in New York City.
Man, dude, look at that hat. Like, the guy looks like he's about to try to sell me a newspaper at a street corner. Extra, extra! The Titanic has sunk!
Yeah, he looks pretty young, but also old at the same time. I mean...
Yeah, how do you look simultaneously young and old? Like, oh my god. But he does it. So.
Yes.
You have one more, right? I think.
Oh. I did one that was not credit, but if you want, I can do another one.
Alright, if you want, you can take 53, and then I'll go.
Okay, in the sports history, baseball, the Brooklyn Dodgers signed pitcher Sandy Koufax.
Alright.
Or Koufax, or I don't know how to pronounce it.
Sandy Koufax, I believe.
Sandy Koufax.
Yeah.
He was very famous later. One of the greatest pitchers in baseball history, from what I see here.
That seems accurate to me from what I know, too. So, I don't know much more, if anything, than you. I'm not sure. As far as baseball, sports, although I've been slowly learning, like, the cycle, or as I call it, the line, to make my dad laugh. But
I looked at the page, and he won many titles of MVP or whatever this other stuff is. But
Cy Young Award by chance?
Yes.
All right. Anyway, I'm going to take us up into 1955 here, in which 16 countries joined the United Nations, including but not limited to Austria, Finland, Italy, and Spain. Dang, that's pretty cool.
So that sounds like a lot of European countries.
Yes. And in 1958, Pat Summerall kicked game-winning field goal for the New York Giants against the Cleveland Browns at Yankee Stadium. All right. Then we have something in... Sorry?
And later he seems to have become a famous sportscaster.
Yes. Yeah, a lot of these, really, good players and such, they continue their career in other aspects of that thing. Going to sportscasting, going to, being an ESPN host or something. Like Shaquille O'Neal is on that one show with those three other guys.
Yes.
Yeah. So, but then we have 1961. Jimmy Dean's "Big Bad John" was the first country song to get a gold record. Big Bad John. I don't know if that's how the song goes. I've never heard it, but yeah.
Big John.
Big John.
Big Bad John.
And then I believe it is now Blob's turn once again. 1967 here.
All right, we have the DNA was created in a test tube.
Ooh. The power of God.
Yes. Later we had that Human Genome Project. I think it's still ongoing to essentially find out what all the DNA does.
Yep.
In the same year, in 1967, the Prime Minister of Canada, Lester B. Pearson, announces that he is retiring from politics, succeeded by Pierre Trudeau.
Oh no. It
I
begins.
think so. He is related to the Mr. Trudeau.
Bloodline? No, he's not. But
No.
But Pierre Trudeau is Justin Trudeau's father. As far as
That's what I thought.
But he's obviously of Fidel Castro's descent. But yeah. Anyway, you get to talk about a name that rhymes with Blobby. It's Bobby. It's just Blobby without the L.
Yes, it's Bobby Orr, who in the NHL scores his first career hat-trick versus the Chicago Blackhawks.
Nice. And
And
this is a good song here.
okay, in 1969, so the year of Woodstock, we have a #1 chart hit, "Leaving on a Jet Plane" single sung by Peter, Paul and Mary, written by John Denver. It's #1 on the US Billboard's Hot Top 100.
Yeah, leaving on a jet plane. I remember hearing the song. I don't remember how it went, but it's a good song. And also in 1969, the Jackson 5 made their first appearance on the Ed Sullivan Show. Cool. All right. Yeah, and Ed Sullivan, we spoke about him the other day, Blob, you and I. He was, early, television and all that stuff. Introduced the Beatles, the Jackson 5. Other bands that you have named that I have forgotten. So.
I think I only named the Beatles and the Jackson.
Well, all right then. Anyway, let's see here. Oh, wow. Also in 1969, one of the most catastrophic flops in the history of show business, the musical La Strada opened and closed at Lune Fontaine, New York City after one performance. Oh. That must have sucked. Like, really bad.
Well, unfortunately, we don't know because nobody saw it.
Yeah. Then in 1971, the Golden Gate Bridge lights were out all night due to a power failure. Well, what a surprise. Power failures in California. So yep. But then I'm going to take this other one here in 1971. The Pakistan Army executed an estimated 1,111 of East Pakistan's intellectuals during the Bangladesh Liberation War. Why? I understand war, but you're just murdering smart people. Why?
Because they're the biggest threat.
Yeah. That still sucks. That often makes me wonder whether or not it's worth being an intellectual. I just make myself a target. But
when Joseph Stalin got into power, he also murdered all the intellectuals.
Yeah, that is true. So. Yeah, out here in the States, though, recently, we do get rid of them one way or another, but mostly cancel culture. So.
Yeah.
But anyway, you got a film release in 1974 here.
Yeah, it seems like Mr. Braitels is not back yet, so I will take it. In 1974, the disaster film The Towering Inferno is released, starring Steve McQueen and Paul Newman. Was that movie? Let me see.
Michaelis. Movies. The Towering Inferno.
Yeah, I thought it was more after a real occurrence, but maybe that occurrence was later.
And I'm sorry for the viewers to be seeing my Discord on the screen. My other monitor is frozen yet again. So, yeah. But yeah, no, I just added The Towering Inferno as a movie I need to watch in the movies channel. And we have a movie night coming up in a couple of days. I got to make an announcement today. So, but anyway, let's move on up here.
Alright, we're gonna move on with the 1974 sports history. Viv Richards scores his first Test cricket ton. What is a Test cricket ton?
I don't know. Nobody I've ever met in my entire life knows a lick and spittoon about cricket. So we just read it and move on. Just it's like a band-aid.
Yeah. So he scores. Viv Richards scores his first Test cricket ton 192 versus India 24-6 sixes.
I think you're right. Tournaments? Would that be ton tournaments? Or is that... I don't know.
Could be.
Hold on a second. What is a ton in cricket? Now I'm...
Oh my god.
Century?
Really? He is... I don't know what a master blaster is, but that sounds like an awesome profession.
What?
Master Blaster is WT in Mad Max.
Huh. Sohan, there you are.
Oh shit, my knee.
What do you do to your knee?
It's called getting old.
Oh, that is true. Yeah. So. And then you got a musical finale here, Mr. Protoblob.
Yes, we have in 1975 Scott Joplin's. I butchered that already. Oh my god. How do you pronounce that name?
Joplin.
Joplin.
Like Janis Joplin.
No, Scott Joplin.
Yes.
I know. I'm making an example.
Yeah, thanks. Scott Joplin's opera Dreamonisha closes at the Uris Theater in New York City after 64 performances.
Dang. That's a lot better than that one that opened and closed on the same night.
Yes. And apparently... Oh, so he composed that many years before. He died. He lived from 1868 to 1917, actually, and the opera was published in 1911. But then he was only rediscovered in the 1960s and 1970s.
Oh wow! So this is a really old work.
Yeah.
Huh. Well, all right. You know, it's unfortunate it took that long for it to be brought to light, but hey, better late than never, right? You know.
Yeah.
We have
I can get the next one.
Yeah, it's actually, I was going to say, it's your turn now, 1977.
Good. 1977, Dutch war criminal Pieter Minton sentenced in Amsterdam to 15 years.
Oh yeah, weren't we talking about him? Isn't this the guy, the war criminal guy? Yeah, we were talking about him like a week or so ago.
Who killed his neighbor?
15 years just for a war crime.
Well...
Yeah, because he killed his neighboring Jewish family.
Yeah, he killed like a whole bunch of people, and he actually only served 10 years.
Still, that's still not enough.
It's not. Like, war crimes, like, you know, those are supposed to be the harshest things you can do. Like, you know, that and crimes against humanity and all that stuff, like, that should earn you life or execution, you know?
No, it was even worse. He was later sentenced to 10 years for that, but I think he served only a few of them.
Dang. Anyway, we got more cricket here for Sohan.
Yeah. 1977 Test cricket debut of Pakistan spin bowling great Abdul Qadir v England in first test at Lahore.
All right.
They surely test a lot.
Yep.
Yes, they do. Ooh. In 1980, at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, there is a 10 minutes of silence in memory of John Lennon.
Yeah, that's right. He got shot, like what, a couple days prior? Let's see, as soon as this loads up. Here we go. December 8th, yeah, so 6 days ago? No, yeah.
Yeah.
6 days ago.
That man had a meeting with a 38 snub.
Jeez.
Yeah, later Simon and Garfunkel had that line in the late great Johnny Ace live performance where they said, "On a late December evening, I was walking through the Christmas town when a stranger came up and asked me if I heard John Lennon had died."
Jeez.
I can do one more.
Go for it.
Okay, 1980, USSR performed nuclear tests at Eastern Kazakh and Semipalansky, USSR.
More nuclear tests.
The Russians.
Gratuitous. Oh. And then 2 years later, 1982, the Los Angeles Kings' Marcel Deon became the 9th NHLer to score 500 goals. Cool. And 85, U.S. Secretary of State George P. Shultz arrived in West Berlin. All right, you know, obviously diplomatic, you know, rigmaroles and whatnot. And then 1987, Alan Border scored 205 versus New Zealand to become Australia's top rung-getter. whatever that is, cricket, more cricket stuff. Bro, like, there's literally an entire, like, different language just for cricket. I've never experienced something like this. Like,
well, there's also one just for chess, but
well, that I can understand. Like, because chess, you gotta be a big brain to do chess. Like, I don't like chess. I prefer checkers. I'm simple.
A lot of chess language also went into the mainstream, like stalemate and checkmate, for example.
Oh well, yeah, check. That's a check. I don't know.
Yeah, keeping someone in check. Yes.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. Actually. Huh. Anyway, Blob, you want to take 89 here?
Oh yes, because we have someone I really love, not her, but her music. In 1989, the biographical drama film Silkwood. Shouldn't that be Silkwood, or is it really called Silkwood?
It might be Silkwood. I don't know. There's so many like errors and such from the source. It's actually getting concerning.
Directed by Mike Nichols and starring Meryl Streep, Kurt Russell, and Cher premieres.
All right.
And in 1990, so 1 year later, we have music history. Louis Jordan's review. I'm really bad today. Louis Jordan's review. I always say review instead.
It's review. Like, I think you're pronouncing it right.
5 Guys Named Mo premieres in London.
Huh. We have Mo, and of course Mo.
All of the most.
Yes.
And in 1990 also, the Right to Die case permits Nancy Cruzan to have her feeding tube removed. She dies 12 days later.
I remember this.
Ooh.
There's a big old hoopla about that. Actually, there's been several since. And I remember South Park did a whole bit about that too.
Yeah, and we talked...
No. Oh, the one for South Park was about Terry Schiavo.
Ah, okay.
We talked the other day about how the euthanasia should be applied to people who really have,
Terminal illnesses.
for example,
Agree to it.
unbearable pain, but not to everyone, just for being heartbroken or something. So in her case, it sounds like that was correct decision morally, but there are other cases where it is not. So it's a very touchy subject.
Yeah, well, like, I'm not sure about this case, but the one that Soen here mentioned, Terry Schiavo, right?
Yes.
She was essentially brain dead and just plugged into a whole bunch of stuff, just keeping the body physically alive, but she was gone. Like, and I've actually been through a situation like this myself with my sister. My dad had to make the decision to pull the plug, but once there's no brain activity, then you're just keeping a body alive for yourself. There's nothing there, and in the case of Terry Schiavo, she was brain dead and all that stuff. And now I don't know about this one case, but
on 11 January 1983, there was a car accident where the then 25-year-old Nancy Cruzan lost control and never regained consciousness afterwards.
Yeah, see right there, like.
So she died on the spot, but it was resuscitated by the medics, and then she was diagnosed after 3 weeks as being in a persistent vegetative state.
Yeah.
So she got a feeding tube, and essentially that would have been her life for the next few decades. If I mean, you cannot really call that a life, but that would have been her existence for the next few decades.
It's not, but let's move on up here. Soen, I believe it's your turn. Some sports history.
Yeah. Horse. 1992. Lennox Lewis given WBC title when Riddick Bowe refused to fight him.
Huh. Well, okay.
Of course, he refused to fight him, man. Wait, never mind. That happens later on. He knocks out Tyson.
Oh, dang. Yeah.
Yeah, Lennox Lewis.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Bo was the first one to defeat Evander Holyfield. So
Well, that is a good balancing scale. So I would have liked to see how that turned out. But oh well.
Oh, and I seen this movie. This movie is good. In 1994, Philadelphia, one of the first mainstream films about AIDS, directed by Jonathan Demme, starring Tom Hanks and Denzel Washington, premieres in Century City, California.
I am going to add that into my movies here. So where's my movies? There we go.
that's what I just was about to suggest.
Yeah, he gets fired for having AIDS and he sues for discrimination.
So when I was young, that movie was a lot talked about, but of course I didn't watch it.
I watched it. It's pretty good.
I think it was about some gay lawyer who got AIDS, or what?
Yes.
Yes.
Tom Hanks was the gay lawyer that got AIDS.
Dang.
Yeah. Really should watch that.
Yeah, I added it to my movies channel.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, 1995, the Dayton Agreement is signed in Paris by leaders of various governments, ending the conflict in the former Yugoslavia, including Slobodan Milosevic, Atea Ibrahimovic, and Franjo Truman, and Bill Clinton.
All right. Slobodan Milosevic. I've heard that name before. That guy. Okay.
He used to be the president of
Okay.
Russia.
Oh yeah, that's right.
How he's pronounced. Yeah, he was later prosecuted as a war criminal. He was he died from heart failure or something like that because. So he died before the trial was ended, and I have opinions about that, but we will not talk about that on the show.
Wait, is this the guy? Is this the guy who took the shots? Wait, no, it's not. That's more recent.
No, that was in 2013. Another Serbian.
Yeah.
Milosevic was the president of Serbia and probably Yugoslavia before, and. Essentially, they blamed him for all the war crimes, but for example, the massacre in Srebrenica that was carried out by Ratko Mladic on his own accord, in my opinion. But we should go on, I think, because that's a big part that would take too long to discuss.
Yeah. Well, maybe we can talk about it in the Kick Peanut this upcoming Sunday.
Yeah, but what I want to say is that this was one of the worst conflicts after the end of the Second World War in Europe.
Yeesh. I remember hearing something about it. I gotta educate more, in European war history and more recent times, because we don't hear much about that. We hear about the big ones, World War I, World War II, Korea, Vietnam, Iraq again.
Yeah. There was a split of Yugoslavia into Serbia and Croatia and Bosnia-Herzegovina, and essentially they all fought each other. And talking about splits, we should get to yours also soon.
Jeez. Well, anyway, I'm going to take these last three before they split here. So, 1997 here. I'm sorry, what?
So go ahead, man.
Okay. 1997, Phoenix Coyote winger Mark Gardner became the fifth NHLer to score 700 goals. Cool. And at the same time, in 1997, revival of Arthur Miller's dramatic play A View from the Bridge, starring Anthony LaPaglia, Allison Janney, and Brittany Murphy, opened at the Criterion Theater in New York City, running for 239 performances and winning 2 Tony Awards and 4 Drama Desk Awards. Nice.
Anthony LaPaglia was later known as Frank Parker in 7 Days.
Ooh. I heard a gasp from Sohen. Okay.
Hello?
I thought you were gonna say something.
No, man.
Okay. Well, then in 1999, flash floods in Venezuela after torrential rainfall resulted in the deaths of thousands of people and caused a total collapse in the state's infrastructure. Not good. Oosh. Venezuela just keeps getting the shit end of the stick, man.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm gonna do the split. So Oats.
Big.
Welcome to part 2. We're gonna reverse the motion here. So we're gonna start off with Solon, if that's cool. I'd like to give him a little bit more airtime.
Go ahead, man. 2003, we have U.S. President George W. Bush announces the capture of Saddam Hussein.
Oh yeah, that's right. I was watching something.
Apparently, they found him in a foxhole.
A spider hole, yeah. Like he was.
A spider hole.
He was 6 feet underground, horizontal on his back, with like
with a Glock 13.
Yeah.
I mean, Glock 18, not 13. 13 don't exist.
I don't know.
Question. Was it Saddam Hussein or was it still one of his many doubles?
I believe
Probably one of his doubles.
No, didn't they do DNA testing on him to ensure he was Saddam Hussein?
I think, yeah, they did.
A year ago today? No way. I mean, today in history?
Today in history, yeah. When they got Saddam Hussein, because he was tried by the country and found guilty of all the stuff that he obviously was guilty of, and then they hanged him.
Yeah.
It was cool, man. That was crazy. It's like a little cell phone video.
Yep.
Also, 2008, President George W. Bush makes his 4th and final trip to Iraq as president and is almost struck by 2 shoes thrown at him by Iraqi journalist Munatar al-Zaidi during a farewell conference in Baghdad. Yes, I remember this shit.
I remember this too. Like Bush dodges shoes. I have to play this video. This is hilarious. Like the man's a ninja. Like here we go. Let's see here. Whoop! There's one. There's another one. Wow.
Yeah.
So that's crazy. 5 years apart on the day, they discover Saddam Hussein, and then 5 years later, on the exact same calendar dates, Bush demonstrates his Ninjago skills by dodging not 1 but 2 chocolates. That is, that's amazing. Like I'm not a supporter of George W. Bush, but I gotta give him kudos for being such a
That's the dream of every Spanish kid, being able to dodge a chocolate.
Yes.
But that was also the worst presidential assassination attempt in history.
Actually, no. The worst attempt in history ever made was when Bush almost assassinated himself by choking on a pretzel. Remember that?
Yes, right.
Yeah.
And Arnold Schwarzenegger when they threw eggs at him.
He threw eggs at him?
They threw eggs at Arnold Schwarzenegger.
And they bricked this, the egg this limousine.
Oh, yeah.
They may have brought the eggs, but they forgot the bacon.
Anyway, Blob, you want to tell us what happened in 2012?
Yeah, from something funny, we have something very sad. In 2012, 28 people, including 20 children, are shot to death at the Sandy Hook Elementary School in Newtown, Connecticut.
Why is that not highlighted? That's one of the most, big...
Yes. Remember, this is the incident that got Alex Jones sued.
For $1 trillion.
Yeah.
Because he called it a hoax.
Alex Jones had many good things that he got right, but that is one that he got completely wrong. He that it all was staged, and he slandered the families and defamed them, and or whatever that's called. And he said they were actors or something, and essentially yeah, he got sued for 1 trillion or something like that, and it's still ongoing or was recently decided.
Well, I don't know what they're expecting to get out of suing somebody for $1 trillion. Obviously, that's never going to happen. You know, there's nobody on Earth that has $1 trillion. So.
Yeah, so Alex Jones, that was one of the times when he was completely stupid, unfortunately, and it cost him a lot.
But he was right about the frogs, you know. So.
That in 2013. Wait a moment.
Yeah, good luck.
That's a difficult name. The structural biologist Venkatraman Ramakrishnan is named as one of the 25 greatest global living Indians by NDTV channel India.
Good job.
Yes.
Yes.
And we have in 2014
Oh, this
Shinzo,
guy. Sorry.
who unfortunately was murdered this year. And his ruling Liberal Democratic Party win the re-election in Japan, retaining their 2/3 majority with coalition partner New Komeito Party.
Yeah. He was really good. He was really good for Japan. So.
Yeah, he was very conservative and a very bad person. Has ended his political career this year with the assassination.
Well, like he was already out of being. Well, maybe he was still in politics, but he wasn't the. Like he just got out of being the prime minister of Japan, like less than a year prior. So he probably was still in politics, but.
September 2020 is when he was succeeded by Yoshihide Suga as the prime minister of Japan.
Yeah. Okay. So it was a couple of years then, because I remember it was July 6, 2022. Like it was during that week. That was a crazy week, man.
Yeah. Shinzo Abe was the first prime minister in Japan that was born after the World War II.
And then you have one more, right?
I did 3.
Okay.
I think.
2015, one of the worst movies ever made, Star Wars The Force Awakens, directed by J.J. Abrams and starring Daisy Ridley, John Boyega, and Harrison Ford, had its world premiere at the TCL Chinese Theater in Los Angeles. And, yeah, what a god-awful series of movies. Like, Disney just completely destroyed Star Wars. One fell swoop.
Yeah, but since Lucasfilm is owned by Disney, it's just logical that Daisy stars in it.
Yeah.
Hey, in defense of that film, it would have been better if they would have switched the main character.
Yeah.
Instead of Rey, if it would have been about Finn, because remember, Finn was taken at birth and brainwashed into a stormtrooper.
That would have been a much better story. Like,
yeah.
You know, and especially, like, now don't make Finn, like, a Force user or anything, like, you know, have him be an average
Joe.
Joe.
Not a Force user. He was someone that was able to wake up from the brainwashing.
Yeah. And then in 2016, Rock for the Rainforest benefit concert held at Carnegie Hall in New York City. Performers included Sting, Bruce Springsteen, James Taylor, Ronnie Spector, Idina Menzel, Darlene Love, and Jennifer Nettles. Well, I recognize some of the names at the start.
I'm gonna say it. That's not my Sting.
But
as a wrestler fan, that's not my Sting.
Ah.
Yeah, but he was an Englishman in New York that day.
Yep. And then in 2017, the Vatican announced it had rediscovered the lost paintings, or the lost last paintings of Raphael in the Vatican Museum, painted back in 1520. Yeah, like, God knows what is in those archives, man.
Dude, that is impressive for a turtle.
Ah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then it's Soen's turn. Do you want to take this, yeah, Disney one?
Sure. Wait. Okay, yeah, 2017, the Walt Disney Company buys most of 20th Century Fox for $52.4 billion.
Dang.
Which makes the Alien Queen a Disney princess.
And
yes.
The Simpsons predicted it.
Yeah, well, see, this is something a lot of people don't realize. The Alien franchise, the Predator franchise, and the Avatar franchise, not the Last Airbender, but the Blue People, the Na'vi, those are now owned, those are Disney IPs now. Like, as well as Star Wars and Marvel, so they can theoretically merge everything everybody loves in pop culture into one mush.
Ooh. Can I make wait, never mind. That's Paramount.
Yeah, but I thought Navi was this really annoying fairy from Ocarina of Time.
She is. But I got something worse than Navi. Paimon from Genshin Impact.
Huh. We have another one here for your Heisman Trophy in 2019, Mr. Sohen.
Sure. In 2019 Heisman Trophy, the 85th Heisman Trophy award, Joe Burrow, Louisiana State University quarterback, highest percentage of first place votes ever with 90.7. Ooh, good.
Percent.
Dang.
Oh,
And we're,
shit.
sorry?
I won't do this one by 2019.
Well, before we do, we actually missed one of Blob's contributions here. The one right before it in 2018. So if you don't mind, you can take the 2018 and the 2019.
Sure.
All right.
In 2018, report by Reuters, the U.S. pharmaceutical company Johnson & Johnson knew for decades that talc was contaminated with asbestos.
Wow. That's not surprising with what they've been doing recently with a certain insertion device. So, yeah, Johnson & Johnson, not good.
Mm-hmm.
And what didn't they? And wasn't it discovered that there was poison in their baby formula too, or something like?
Yeah, anything Johnson & Johnson kills people.
Yeah.
At this point, it would be noteworthy if there is something that isn't poisonous.
Johnson & Johnson is behind the Tylenol thing when it had like the cyanide in the aspirin. Wouldn't be too surprised. Anyway, go on ahead to 2019, Mr. Sohen.
Yes. Also in 2019, Bel Air Mansion featured in TV series The Beverly Hillbillies sell for $150 million, becoming California's most expensive property.
Dang. I think there's a lot more now, but that seems fairly recent. $150 million. That's a lot.
Well, yeah, that's the Beverly Hills house.
Yep. Anyway, let's go on into Mr. Blob here. Well, I see there's the second 2020 is interesting. Obviously, the election of interest here, and then you have another one, the solar eclipse. So there you go.
In 2020, a total solar eclipse was visible across southern Chile and Argentina.
Ah.
So essentially, if you saw that, you didn't see it.
Yeah.
Because it was eclipsed.
Yes.
Also in 2020, the United States Electoral College votes 306 to 232 to officially affirm Joe Biden's presidential election victory.
Yeah, sure. Uh-huh.
Or as Joe Biden said, he now is vice president under Obama again.
Yeah. Yeah. Good Lord. Anyway, before we move on into births and deaths, were there any articles that grabbed your guys' attention more than most?
Yeah, a lot of them.
It's the usual answer. So, well then I guess, well, what about you, Blob? Anything that, you found more interesting than most, or is it like the same answer? A lot of things is really interesting.
I found interesting that many important events were not highlighted, like this first incident at the American Revolution, the first flight of an aircraft, the attempt, or the birth of quantum physics, Oh,
well, there's one here that we missed. 2004, the Malau Viaduct, the highest bridge in the world, designed by architect Norman Foster and engineer Michael Verloguet near Mallieu, France was officially opened. I have to
Be
take
right
a
back.
look at this. The Mallieu Viaduct. Let's see here. Oh wow, this bridge. Yeah, holy crap. You're driving above the clouds. Screw that. Like, Jesus. Yeah, no, I don't want to drive on that. Hell no. Huh.
Well,
Anyway.
at least you always have sunny weather there.
Yeah. Well, anyway, audience, viewers of the show, were there anything that grabbed your attention more than most? Anything that you wish we had elaborated more about? Anything you would have liked to say if you had been part of the show yourself? Start a dialogue in the comments section. Let's move on into Burst here, and let's continue on with Blob. Let's give him the first 2 ones, since he only got a couple in the main body here. So start us off, good sir, in 1009.
What happened in 1009? It was Emperor Go-Susaku, the 69th Emperor of Japan. Nice. From 1036 to 1045. He was born in Heian-kyo in Japan, and he died in 1045, so likely in office.
Yep.
And in 1503 we have someone who is still very famous today, Nostradamus, the French astrologist and prophet who wrote Les Prophéties, born in Saint-Rémy-de-Provence in France.
Good pull.
And those prophecies are so poetic and that nobody knows what they really mean. So great prophesizing.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, the quatrains, were written in a way that, it was very easy. Well, then again, everything is easy to look back on, from, the future to the past. But a lot of people are saying, oh, well, this predicted World War II, this predicted 9/11, this predicted Hitler. It's like, maybe, maybe not. Like, I mean, his fame is all based off of belief, essentially. So.
Yeah, the thing is, with the prophecies, there is this famous story, I'll try to look it up currently, where Croesus, the king of Lydia at the time, had asked the oracle about a war with the Persian king Cyrus, if he would win that war, and the oracle told him he would destroy a great empire.
Huh.
It was his own empire that he destroyed by making the war.
Yep. I saw that coming. It's like, which empire? He's not specifying. Is this good or bad? Oh.
Yeah.
And then we got Tycho Brahe in 1546. He was a Danish astronomer, set new standards for astronomical observations. Born in Knudstrup, Scania, Denmark, died in 1601. And actually, okay, so we're going on up here. We have 1631. Anne Conway, English philosopher born in London, died in 1679. And Soen, are you there? You're muted. So I think he's AFK. I think Brados is still AFK. So I guess we're going to go back to Blob here. And 1870, yeah.
Yes. We have Karl Renner, the Austrian president from 1918 to 1920 and 1945 to 1950. He was born in Dolny Dunajovice in Austria-Hungary and died in 1950. So essentially, after the war, he was the Austrian president both times.
Well, all right.
And we go on to, let me check.
1883.
1983, yes. We have Morihei Ueshiba, the Japanese martial artist and founder of the Japanese martial art of Aikido. He was born in Tanabe, Wakayama in Japan.
Wow. So founder of Aikido, that's big.
Something is not right because it is that he died in 1883 also.
Oh, that's weird.
So I don't think that's what happened.
Yeah, no, that, Yeah,
Let me
that's... Look. Yeah, let me look this up too. More maybe you should, but
yeah, he died in 1969.
Okay. All right. Yeah. All right, we're going to move on up here to 1895. We have George VI, was a king of the United Kingdom from 1936 through 52. Born in Norfolk, England, died in 1952, probably in office. Let me open up his page here. Coronary thrombosis and lung cancer.
And he was succeeded by his little-known woman known as Queen Elizabeth II.
Oh, wow. Then we got none other than Jimmy Doolittle, born on this date in 1896, a U.S. Air Force general who conducted the raid on Tokyo in 1942 in response to the Pearl Harbor. He was born in Alameda, California. Californian. Finally, a Californian with some cojones, you know? So...
Yes.
Yeah. And then we're going to go back to you.
Yes, I see I missed one. In 1897, Kurt Schuschnigg, the Austrian politician, dictator of the Austrian federal state. He was born in Riva del Garda in Tyrol in Austria-Hungary. And died in 1977, and I think he was one of the prominent prisoners at the Tyrol train, which we will link in the under bar later.
All right. Have you been posting links, by the way? I haven't been looking. The Towering Inferno.
Yet. I think I posted a few, but not yet about this one.
Oh, okay. Oh, the Sweet Dew incident. Okay. Copy link. I gotta save that. All right.
I will continue. In 1901, we have Henri Cochet, a French tennis player who won the French Open 1926, 28, 30, 32, and Wimbledon 1927 and 29, and the US Open 1928. He was born in Villeurbanne, France.
Wow. He had a lot of records under his belt.
Essentially, from 1926 to 1932, he won nearly everything.
Yeah. That's impressive. And then we got Shirley Jackson in 1916, a U.S. writer, rode through the wall, born in San Francisco, California. All right, that's an interesting painting. Oh. And then we also have, come on, there we go. Ernie Davis, 1939, a U.S. College Football Hall of Fame halfback, the first black U.S. citizen to win a Heisman Trophy in 1961, Syracuse, born in New Salem, Pennsylvania. Well, awesome.
All right.
Yep. And you got one here in 1943 somewhere.
If I find it. Yes, it is Britt Allcroft, the British film and television producer and writer who created the children's TV series Thomas the Tank Engine and Friends. Born in Worthing, West Sussex, England.
Oh, wow. Why is that not highlighted? Thomas the Dank Engine. Come on, man.
Yeah. We do, of course, not condone watching that. Totally not.
You got another one here in 46, right?
Yes, we have the American tennis player Stan Smith. It's his 76th birthday today. The winner of the US Open 1971 and Wimbledon 1972. He was born in Pasadena, California.
I know where that's at.
Yeah, it's in Pasadena.
Yeah, really. Then we got another birth in 1946 as well. Patty Duke, a U.S. Academy and Emmy Award-winning actress, the miracle worker in the Patty Duke Show. Also a mental health advocate. She was born in New York City, dying unfortunately in 2016, though. And then we got 1947, Dilma Rousseff, a Brazilian politician and president of Brazil from 2011 to 2016, born in Belo Horizonte, Brazil. Okay.
Yes, and in 1951 we have someone whom I actually have had email conversation with.
Ooh.
It is the Dutch chess grandmaster Jan Timman. He was born in Amsterdam, so it's his 71st birthday. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Any friend of Blob's is a friend of mine.
Oh, he's not a friend. We just had a friendly conversation per email.
Well, still, any acquaintance of Blob's is an acquaintance of mine. But you understand.
In 1960, we have the American lawyer and former FBI director James Comey, who is very famous because he was involved in politics recently. He was born in Yonkers, New York, and it's his 62nd birthday.
Yonkers, eh? All right. And then we have 1972, Miranda Hart, a.k.a. Miranda Hart Dyke, is an English comedian and actress, Miranda, born in London, England. And let's see here, 1972. Okay, that's what you got there. All right, and then we also have Vanessa Hudgens, 1988, is a U.S. singer and actress, High School Musical, and The Princess Switch, born in Salinas, California. All right, she looks like a Californian. Oh yeah. And so
How do they look?
I'm sorry.
How do Californians look like?
Stuck up. You know, Californians have a very punchable face. You know, they have like this aura of superiority because they think because they're Californians they're better. But you know.
Oh, here in Germany we call that Karen.
Yes. I believe Karen's came out of California as well as Kyle's. You know, so. Anyway, I'm going to take this last one here, and then I'll have you start us off here in the deaths. In 1992, we have Tori Kelly, turned 30 today. She is a U.S. singer-songwriter, Dear No One and Nobody Love, born in Wildomar, California. And see, she has a Californian face, like, you know, right there. She kind of has, you can tell, like, you know, she has an attitude of, like, you know, like, I don't know, being a little stuck up. She just kind of looks like it. I'm not saying she is. I'm just saying she has an RBF, a resting bitch face. So,
I mean, her songs are called Dear No One and Nobody Love.
Yeah. So, that should say some things. But anyway, we're going to move on to the deaths now. And Mr. Blob is going to start this article off as well in 872. Go for it, sir.
All right, we have Adrian II, the Italian Pope from 867 to 872. The last married Pope, he died at 80, around 80.
Yeah. So he was a married Pope. I didn't know popes could be married.
Yeah, after that they decided that popes should not be married, so it's some Catholic thing because they, I think it's related to the belief that Jesus came from a virgin.
Mm-hmm. But see, that makes me question things. You know, the Pope can't get married because he is married to God. But Jesus is God, according to their, you know, beliefs. And so that means God is a guy. That doesn't sound very Christian. You know?
But God created man in his own image. And he also created the woman. So essentially, God is man and woman at once.
Yes. Wait, does that make God a hermaphrodite?
But they say God the Father, but well, it's complicated. I don't know, but any theologians are welcome to debate in the comments. But keep it civil.
Yes, please. Don't get like the bar for discussion is don't do anything worse than me. So I know it's a really low bar, but still there has to be some kind of standard. So. But you got another really big name here.
Yes. We have the Wallachian prince, Vlad III, the Impaler, Count Dracula. He was killed in battle at 45.
Yep.
In the year 1476.
Yep. And the world will not miss him. Oh.
And a few centuries later, he was the inspiration for Bram Stoker's novel Dracula, of course.
Yes. Then we have James V, died on this date in 1542, was a king of Scotland from 1513 through 42, so obviously might have died in office here. It says, dies likely of cholera or dysentery at the age of 30. Wow. That's young.
Yes, and if you remember, we had an interesting historical event in 1542, I think.
I think so.
Yeah, so that was the day that Mary Stuart became Queen Mary I of Scotland.
Oh wow, huh?
His daughter.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you for remembering. I wouldn't have. So good connective dots right there. But then we have George Washington, the father of the United States of America. Thank you for your service, good sir. Died on this date in 1799. As I said, American founding father, commander-in-chief of the Continental Army during the War for Independence, and the first president of the United States of America from 1789 through 97. Died at the age of 67. He was born in 1732. So, and as Blob said earlier, he was also retroactively promoted to be a 5-star general of the armies. So,
I'm not sure if that's actually 5-star or 6-star.
5 stars.
But he is the highest ranking United States military official.
Maybe they might have given him 6 stars. I don't know. But, yeah.
Yeah, sometimes it's speculated to be a 6-star general.
He's the only one who can get it.
And as it is higher to the 5-star grade of General of the Army. But no 6-star insignia was ever officially created.
Dang.
And General Pershing never wore more than 4 stars.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, who else died on this date?
In 1861, we have the 4th Earl of Aberdeen, George Hamilton Gordon. He was Prime Minister of the United Kingdom for Peelite from 1852 to 1855, and also Secretary of State for Foreign Affairs. He died at 76.
Dang.
Born in 1784.
Yep.
And we have in 1947 Stanley Baldwin, the British Prime Minister for the Conservative Party from 1923 to 1924, 1924 to 1929, and 1935 to 1937. He died at 80. And he was born in 1867.
Yeah.
So it sounds like in 24 for a short while he was not in power, but then again.
Yeah, that's weird. Like, I'm just wondering, and I remember, they were talking about within 60 some odd days recently, the UK have gone through 3 prime ministers. They had Boris Johnson, then they had that one, what's-her-face, who lasted less than a cabbage, and then a third one who's currently in power now. So that just makes you wonder, like how many times do British, have these hiccups? Because, right here, he was in power 24, then he got replaced, and he replaced his replacement in the same year. So...
Yeah, but it seems to be correct. Also, he was regarded as a popular and successful prime minister in his time, but later vilified for high unemployment during the Great Depression and for the appeasement of some Austrian guy who ruled Germany.
It's really easy to blame, political figures and stuff, but when something like the Great Depression is going around, that's a worldwide situation. No one leader can take blame. It's everybody,
Yeah. Look at today, the unemployment rates.
Oh God.
Yeah, who is to blame?
Well, all is to blame. It's not just the politicians, but now, people are lazy and everything because you get more money being on, disability or on unemployment or on some form of welfare than you would actually having a job, So, that is the fault of the politicians for even, enabling that. But, people have got to take responsibility for themselves and not act on these enabling impulses. So, yeah. Anyway, we have Walter Lippmann, died on this date in 1974. He was a U.S. journalist and political writer. Public opinion, died at the age of 85. He was born in 1889. And we have Roger Maris, 1985. A U.S. baseball right fielder, 7-time Major League Baseball All-Star, 61 home runs in 1961. Wow, 61 and 61. Look at that. Died of cancer at the age of 51. He was born in 1934. I remember. I've seen this picture many times. I remember this guy. Oh.
Yeah. And I get a very famous person. It is the Russian nuclear physicist Andrei Sakharov. He was activist for disarmament, peace and human rights, winning the Nobel Peace Prize in 1975. He died of a heart attack at 68 years old, was born in 1921.
Yep.
And is he the one that the Sakharov Prize is named after?
Probably. I've never heard of that, but, you know, I haven't heard of this guy either, so probably.
Oh, we will look that up later and put the Sakharov Prize in the
I can look it up right now, actually. Sakharov Prize named after... Why can't I type here? Named after Russian scientist and dissident Andrei Sakharov. Which, yeah, so it is. Good pull.
All right. And we will continue in 1993 with Myrna Loy, the American actress of The Great Seatbelt, Thin Man, Vanity Fair. She died at 88, was born in 1905.
Uh-huh. And then we also have Peter O'Toole, died on this date in 2013. He was an Irish actor. Lord Jim Beckett, Lawrence of Arabia, to name a few. Died at the age of 81, and he was born in 1932. And do I have Lawrence? I believe I have Lawrence of Arabia in my movies channel in here. Yeah, right here. Okay. And then we also have, I'll just take this guy. 2021, Ken Cragen, a U.S. television producer, the Smothers Brothers, music artist manager, Lionel Richie and Kenny Rogers, those are big names, and a charity organizer, USA for Africa, We Are the World. Oh, he was behind that too. Died at the age of 85. That was a good song.
Oops, that was the one from the 80s, right?
Yes, I believe.
Where all the big stars sang there.
Yeah. Which, let's see, I want to listen to that after the show. So We Are the World. This one. All right. Anyway, that shall conclude the show. Once again, you can check the underbar of the description for any links you may find interesting, including but not limited to all things Omni Coalition, which in itself includes Soen's Twitch, Doom's YouTube, Muffin's YouTube. Anybody else who's given us links to their stuff, go check that out. Go check out, the links that we've found throughout the show. Anyway, for your dose of passive events daily, we stream every day at 10 in the morning Pacific time, which is also 11 in the morning Mountain, 12 Central, 1 p.m. Pacific time, as well as what time in Germany?
7 p.m.
Yes. Anyway, for all of you and all of us, I am Aoxander.
I'm Protoblob.
And earlier we had Bratos and a decent bowl of oats, aka Sohen, in the show. Anyway, until you catch us tomorrow, or if you're interested in news, notable events, weather, and sports, we have a new show coming up here in a few hours. Anyway, whenever you see us again, until then, don't forget to look right and left at every intersection, rate 5 thumbs, and subscribe. Until then, toodles!
Big toodles!
Big toodles!